Subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the bell icon for the latest film interviews, features, and recommendations on the movies that matter. Folks, it's good to see you. You are, of course, Team Gatham. Now, your scrappy little indie film is getting great reviews. It's now streaming on Amazon Prime Video. And when I said scrappy little indie film, I meant it in the best way possible, because it really is almost a DIY kind of project, isn't it? You know, I really enjoyed it. I was not prepared for the twists and turns that it delivers. It starts off as an escape room thriller, but it becomes so much more, which I'm not going to ruin for anyone that hasn't watched it. I want to start by asking Kiran, Srujan, and Bhargava, what is it about Indians who are doing IT and software jobs in the US that they inevitably end up making movies? I mean, we've seen it with Nagesh, we saw it with Raj and DK, and now it's you guys.
Yeah, Rajiv. So I will begin with this, right? So pretty much every Indian, we have three key entertainment quotients: movie, cricket, and then politics, right? So the bug is always there. Once we move to the US, once we settle down, we earn a couple of bucks extra, we get to save that. And obviously it becomes more mundane, the life here, more mechanical. Your 9 to 5 job, nothing really stops you from doing what you want, because you are more organized, you know how to manage the time, no external factors that influence you. So, and then, okay, now we figured out how to how to lead a successful life, balancing the personal and career, streams. And then the itching slowly, comes forward. Hey, now that we have the passion as well, why don't we explore something in that direction? But for us, it's a little different case. We were always passionate. So right in my master's, I started the short films with my fellow Harsha, with a small handy cam and a Samsung. The cameras were coming right and then. So we started making short films. We made 13 short films in this journey. And then we decided to get into this, DIY, scrappy indie arena, and then Gatham happened. Yeah, so to answer your question shortly, yes, I mean, after we moved to the US, we get organized, and that gives us ample time to achieve what we really dream about. Yeah.
Right. So how did you guys meet? I know that Bhargava and you met about 5 years ago, and Srujan, you came along when Gatham had already started, and when they had poured all their finances into it, and there was still more bits that needed to be funded. Am I right?
That's right. That's right. So once they finished the first schedule, they came up to me and asked me, because I already done an indie movie before called Manu. So they showed it to me, and I was like pretty excited with the storytelling, what Kiran was explaining. Then immediately I said that, okay, let's do this. I'm going to fund the rest of the project, and the release plan also will be easy because I already released a couple of movies already in Telugu. So that's the reason my collaboration came in with Kiran and Bhargav. So from there, we are here.
Right. Bhargava, for you?
Yeah. So, I mean, after the first schedule, as you said, second schedule, probably, I think we had exhausted all our, our resources. The journey started very interestingly. In 2018, Kiran wrote a script and said, Bhargava, this is the, story around, and this is your character. I just fell head over heels about the character because it was so complex, so many shades. I said, well, let's do it. So we formed a banner, right? We formed a banner formally, started it off. But the first schedule was actually carried on shoulders of, Kiran, Harsha, and 150 other people, right? Kiran went and talked to so many people. We talked to everybody we could. They gave $100, $50, $500, that sort of.
Yes, I see the end credits. It's a long rolling end credits.
Right? So that's where it all started. And then by the time we finished our resources, what happened was, we had to find someone. And luckily Srujan was around, and he had seen our teaser, right? Rakesh knew him, and he said, so I actually went to him and we pitched to him like I would do in a startup, right? Actual pitch deck, presentation. I showed him, what's in it for you, everything like, how we do things. So we took everything we learned from the IT world and applied it to this world, if you will.
Right. I love this. Facebook and Google and ex-Facebook employees are like sort of mini moguls, in the making. Incredible. But Rakesh, Pujita, how were you cast? Are you professional actors? And also I want to ask you, I read that everybody on the set, irrespective of what role they were playing, was also doing crew work as well.
So I've started. I've made like almost 20 plus short films, sir. So it was all started in 2012. So I made like a couple of independent films also before this one, and this is my first feature film. I met Kiran back in Arizona. I was pursuing my MBA. So through one of my common friends, I met Kiran, and it started all over there. And finally, we met Gatham, sir. Yeah.
So listen, what is there a WhatsApp group in America, like sort of frustrated IT software guys wanting to get into movies? I mean, is there a Tinder for people who are keen to get into the movies? How did you find each other, Kiran? How do you find your actors?
So this is definitely not an overnight thing, Rajiv. So as I mentioned, right, so it all goes back to 2012. So it was a process we went through, uh, making these short films. We made 13 of them. Half of them didn't even see the limelight, and few of them, whatever have seen, they were pretty bad. But we learned a lot of lessons and made good network, right? So whoever aligns with our vision, who can excel, what I was always dreaming about. So that's how I started making connections. Bhargava, Rakesh, Srujan, Harsha, Pujita, Beat, everyone. Um, I mean, it was definitely, I knew I was going to be part of, the project, my debut project. These guys are going to collaborate along with me back in 2018 itself. It was not an overnight decision I had to make. Pujita was a bit different journey because we were looking for the lead actors. I would call them actors, not heroines. So we were auditioning, and 100 odd profiles came to us because of the logistics or several other factors. We couldn't lock on one, and just a week before, we happened to see her audition. She liked the script and everything happened. But everyone else in the crew and cast, most of them, uh, it was a journey. It was bound to happen someday. Yeah.
Pujita, how do you remember it? You actually had a day job in the US when this came along, didn't you?
No. So I finished my MFA in interior design in America, and I took a course in Hollywood for acting, and I was just starting to look for projects. So I met Rakesh through a friend because of our interest in acting. So he told me that these guys were casting. So I sent in the audition, and then rest is history.
How much did the film cost to make, guys? Are these things? Can these things be told?
It's already on the IMDb, but I will leave it to the producers to talk
Oh
more
yeah,
about this.
I can talk about it. It's
Okay.
around 154,000 USD.
Wow,
Exact number. That's
That-
1 crore 10 lakhs.
that's amazing. Yeah. But Srujan, when you came on board, were you confident that you could get the film out? It's one thing to make a movie, but it really is another thing to make sure that it gets released. I mean, there are so many films that have been made and are just lying in the cans because they haven't had a release pattern either on OTT or in theaters. What was the idea going in? I mean, what gave you the confidence that this little garage project, if you like, I mean, that you guys were setting out on was going to get a release?
I was pretty confident when Kiran told me the story that Kiran was asking me what is the chances of going into theoretical or OTT or something. So initially what we planned is to go to theoretical itself. I know how to release the theoretical perspective because I've done an indie already. Yeah. Then I was pretty confident that once we have the visually grand nature, distributors or exhibitors back in Hyderabad, probably I want to show the movie to them. From there, I want to move it, but the Corona totally changed it. I was also thinking to go to OTT before Corona times as well. I was talking to a couple of major like Amazon or Netflix, but all of them are saying that you guys have to be theoretical before it has to be on OTT. They never had a direct OTT release before. That is something, a different aspect called originals. So then we in the March we decided to go theoretical. So the Corona hit, then we started pitching it for OTT. So I was pretty much confident when after the first schedule itself. Then I told Kiran that whatever we do, we have to market it in such a way that these people gets to see a teaser or a trailer which will catch their eye. This is what I wanted from Kiran. So he delivered it.
Right. What have the last few weeks since the film dropped on Amazon Prime? What have the last few weeks been like? Because it's not like there's been a lot of attention to the project. It's not like Amazon is heavily promoting it. It really is a film that's been discovered on its own in a sense, isn't it?
That's right. I want Kiran to
And-
answer this.
I think the word I would choose to describe the post-release is hectic and overwhelming. Right? Hectic because I have my meetings throughout the day. I'm working I'm working, and then night it starts around 8:30 or sometimes like 10:30. And last 1 week, right, we've been like doing these media interactions and interviews till almost 6 in the morning for me. So I have like 2 hours maybe of like deep uneasy sleep, and then I get all groggy for my meetings the next day. So it's been that non-stop continuous cycle, but we've survived. It's slowing down a little bit, and
I'll add a couple of cents to what Bhargava mentioned, right? So the last couple of weeks, absolutely right, Rajiv, what you mentioned. So this is a movie that has discovered its own path to success. Absolutely, Amazon acquiring it, no promoting it as the original, doing their bit is and definitely helping us, to catch up the buzz and the steam, to keep it alive. But audience are the absolute, what do you call, the key makers here. So they've been creating a lot of buzz on social media, saying, "Hey, this is a small surprise. You have to watch out." Comparatively, we've been seeing a lot of content coming onto OTT. So how these are faring of late, especially the so-called biggies, right? So I don't know if I can mention that, but having said that, so they were taken by surprise and they started promoting. So that's when we thought audience are so generous, they overlook any flaws any indie maker would go through when the content is really intense, and then the movie is so gripping. So they are doing their job to promote the movie. We have to credit success to them as well, along with the national media as well. We have to credit. We are not getting so much of reception in our industry, to be honest. I don't know what's happening. I think they're still yet to watch the movie, but the attention is all over the national media. And
that's true, actually.
of course,
People all over are discovering it. Yeah. And that is the best kind of success, right? Where they discover it on their own. When people discover it just purely on their own. I want to talk about the film. The plot is a little bit far-fetched, but it adds up, and that to me was really interesting. That it's implausible, but when you go back and retrace it, it's adding up. It's cleverly done. Now we can't talk about it in any detail without sort of spoiling it, so we won't. But just the manner in which the dynamics between the actors, that sort of changes so frequently. I want to ask Rakesh, Bhargava, and Pujita. Did you guys have to shoot in order, just so that y'all could, remain, knowing exactly what's going on, to sort of keep up with what's going on, because it's constantly changing. I mean, what was the process of making this movie?
It was not in order for sure.
Okay, I thought it may not be.
Yeah, so Kiran had to spend some time with us, tell us what's going on, and put us in the mood in order to, understand what's really happening.
Right.
I mean, see, this is not something, Rajiv, that's new to me. I've been working with him since 2015. He writes these absolutely gripping and twisty and turny stories. So I've seen it before, where I've been confused as to what this next scene that's going to be shot entails. Right. So I'm used to asking him. But luckily, Pujita and Rakesh are so intense students, right? I mean, they're so into this craft. They scared me, right? I had to be on my toes every time, at least to, match up to them, right? So, but yeah, it always took because it was like neck-breaking twist, if you will, right? Yeah. So most of the times I had no clue. I had to ask before each scene, okay, where in the sequence will it come? Because one scene it's completely different emotion, and the next you are like a psycho.
Right. Rakesh, what was it like? I mean, your character Rishi's an interesting kind of guy. He's many things. I mean, you meet him at a point where he's lost his memory. I think we can say that. And the layers kind of unpeel, and you discover one discovers very different a very different person from what we knew going in. What was it like, and what was the prep? I mean, how did you prep for this character?
So before the shoot, sir, probably 2 months back, 2 months before the shoot, we planned a couple of demo shoots actually. So I was in two minds, will I be able to pull off this character? I called up Kiran, and he said okay, let's plan for a couple of demo shoots. So we planned for a couple of demo shoots and it came out really well. And before the shoot, we had like 3 to 4 workshops for this movie. So that made my job easy actually. So, and also it's like my self preparation was there for this movie. I used to come from the office, sit in my room, record some videos and all those things. So it was quite an interesting kind of preparation for this movie, sir. Yeah.
Right. Now, Kiran, Srujan, when you've made a film at a budget that's virtually shoestring, I'm guessing you don't have a lot of time, on set. I also read somewhere that a lot of it was guerrilla style shooting. I mean, you just took the camera out and ran. What's that like? I mean, making your first feature, Kiran, I mean, were there a lot of compromises you had to make, or did you just learn to be efficient and best use the little time that you had?
Yeah, this is all part of the process, Rajiv. So we knew we're going to face some logistical challenges no matter what, be it a big budget movie or, like a shoestring budget like ours, right? So no matter what, we do encounter them. But what the short film journey taught me is no matter what, persist with it and have that so-called fool's confidence in you, and you will pull it off at the end of the day. So we always had the drive. We worked as a family, right? So if someone runs into a trouble, if we are, if all of them are, paid folks around me, they would just raise their hands up and say, hey, we are giving it up. But since we work as a family, if someone is in troubled waters, they will pull us out. So there was no question of, dropping the shoulders and saying, hey, we are done with this. So no matter what, no matter where we were filming, it was always like, okay, hey, we'll pull this off. One guy will act as a security guard, the other guy will act as, like an eyes for us to watch out who is coming around. Should we call this off? Should we pretend as if we are
Were any laws broken during the making of this movie?
Absolutely not. Not that we are aware of. But we did trouble people at least 30 or 40 times. But eventually when they saw the footage, they were really happy. Okay, we are getting nice PR for our location, so why not go ahead? So, so it was all in good spirits. So yeah.
I can comment on this.
Yes, please.
So we after the first schedule, we had these other 4 schedules in every weekends. We planned like Friday, Saturday, Sunday shoots, and we have to run from one location to other locations. I remember these people going from San Francisco to Shasta, which is 5 hours drive, and that too at the midnight. So these people are working like I used to something like 18 hours of work. From there again, these people start traveling to Shasta. I think they slept in the car, and again it became morning and started shooting in the hospital. Shasta is we shot in the hospital, so probably in 48 hours they might have slept just 4 hours, and that's the crunch, that's the limitation we had. So
yeah.
Because on Sunday we have to go back to work, we have to fly to different places. All the people live in different places in US, so everyone has to go back to the airport. They have to go back to their work on Monday, so we have to plan. So these are the limitations we had. Probably next time we want to make sure limit these next time.
So driven by pure passion, huh?
Yes.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it was a will to get the thing done, Rajeev, I guess, at the end of the day.
Right. You leave it open for a potential sequel. Do you have ideas?
I can't rule this out, definitely, but not immediately. Because we have the signature all over the movie. If we do it again immediately, the signature is all over and people might feel monotonous. Even I feel monotonous and the team feels it. So we'll give it a break. We'll move on to something more exciting next venture. And then we'll definitely visit, the kind of reception we've been receiving. Why not, right? Yeah.
But would the actors like to revisit the parts? I mean, if you had to, would you like to go back and see where these people are a little later in time?
I would love to.
Yeah. I would love to, sir. Come on. Yeah.
I thought you might say that. I want to end by asking you, what advice would you give other sort of amateur filmmakers starting out?
My biggest advice would be cinema is bigger than anything else, especially on set. There'll be a lot of challenges thrown at you. You will be put through a lot of uncomfortable situations, but at the end of the day, just hold on tight and work towards your goal.
That's so true. Someone said that, right? Pain is temporary, film is permanent. Yeah.
There's one caution of note here to all the youngsters and filmmakers out there. who want to take a QR2 from our, the journey, successful journey. So nothing is coincidental, guys. So we worked hard. We've slept over the movie for 2 years. We have went through a lot of struggles and sacrifices. But that doesn't mean we have to show all these to you to, make our movie look good in front of you. At the end of the day, the content is the king, as these guys mentioned. So with the advent of OTT, the movie is not in theaters but in your home. So with that said, the caution I want to, give here is, um, a lot of movies are flocking, they're queuing up to the OTTs, right? So if the content is coming without any quality in it, so it dilutes the expectations of moviegoers. Eventually the steam will die down, and that will put entire OTT, arena in jeopardy. And that will impact all the young filmmakers like us. So make sure you're delivering and giving your 120%. Not just, don't think that whatever we do, one or the other OTT will, gallop it and, spit it out onto the audience. It won't work like that. OTTs have been careful. Audience have become smart thanks to the world cinemas exposure to them. So there are a lot of factors that influence any decision making in bringing your movie out. So yeah, I mean, work hard, you will achieve big.
Valuable advice for everyone. Thank you guys. I just want to say here again to anyone that's watching this interview, Gatham is now streaming on Amazon Prime Video. If you like films that are something on the surface but something completely different, when you discover it, I think you'll enjoy this film. Congratulations to you all to have made something that's an organic success, the small little scrappy indie that sort of broke out. Many congratulations. Can't wait to see what you guys do next. All the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Rajeev.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.